super fans. You know, I am a super fan of getting together with you every week to talk about God. And this month, we're learning all about what God has to teach us about kindness. Just like I can show everybody that this team's important to me when I put on one of their shirts, you can show others how important they are to you by the way you treat them. Let's review this month's memory verse together. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Colossians 3:12. Today's Bible story comes from the Book of Ruth. The Book of Ruth is in the Old Testament between the Book of Judges and the Book of Samuel, which is almost at the very beginning. See how close it is to the front of the book? We're going to put Ruth away for now, but she's going to come back in a few minutes. We're going to start today's story in the land of Judah with Naomi and her family. That's her husband and her 2 sons. But gosh, things were getting rough in Judah. There wasn't enough food to go around, so they had to move to the nearby land of Moab. While they were in Moab, Naomi's husband died. While they were in Moab, Naomi's sons got married. The oldest son married Orpah. The youngest son married Ruth. Sadly, though, both of Naomi's sons died. That left Naomi, Ruth, and Orpah alone. Naomi had heard that there was food again in her homeland, so she decided to go back. Naomi encouraged Ruth and Orpah to go back to their families and find someone else to marry. So, Orpah left. Ruth wasn't about to leave. Listen to this. But Ruth replied, "Don't try to make me leave you and go back. Where you go, I'll go. Where you stay, I'll stay. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God." They returned to Naomi's hometown in Judah, Bethlehem, and that's where Ruth met a man named Boaz. Boaz and Naomi were part of the same family. Naomi and Ruth needed food, and Boaz had a field full of grain, so naturally, Ruth went to Boaz's field for grain. Part of God's law read that when landowners cleared their field, they were supposed to leave some grain behind for the people who need food in order to survive. So that's exactly what Boaz did, and that's where Ruth went to get food for herself and for Naomi. Boaz noticed Ruth there, and this is what he said. "Dear woman, listen to me. Don't pick up grain in any other field. Don't go anywhere else. Stay here with my female servants. Keep your eye on the field where the men are cutting grain. Walk behind the women who are gathering it. Pick up the grain that is left. I've told the men not to touch you. When you are thirsty, go and get a drink. Take water from the jars the men have filled." Boaz even made sure that Ruth had good red and roasted grain to eat. And at the end of the day, Ruth was able to bring a large amount of grain back home to Naomi. Ruth continued to provide for Naomi that way until the end of the harvest season. Naomi knew that God had set up a special way for Boaz to rescue their family. So Naomi told Ruth to visit Boaz in secret. Boaz woke up in the middle of the night and he saw Ruth. Ruth asked him to give her special protection because according to their culture, he was responsible for their family. Boaz said he would help her, but first he had to find one man who was more closely related to Naomi and make sure it was okay with him and the town's elders that Boaz bought Naomi's land. The man agreed, the elders approved, and the next thing you know, Ruth and Boaz got married. Da-dun, 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 da-dun. Naomi came to live with them, and before you know it, they had their very own son. His name is Obed. Obed became the father of Jesse, and Jesse, you may remember, is the father of King David, who is the father of King Solomon, who had kids, who had kids, who had kids, who eventually led to baby Jesus. Ruth is the well, a lot of greats, grandmother of Jesus. It's awesome to think that the kindnesses of Naomi, Ruth, and Boaz were part of God's big plan for each one of us. We can learn an important lesson from Ruth, Naomi, and Boaz. Be kind to your family and friends. You could be kind to your family and friends just like Naomi, Ruth, and Boaz. And when you are, just watch what God does with that kindness. I can't wait to learn more about our kind and loving God with you again next week. Goodbye.